We are going to start with the latest on the COVID-19 situation in South Korea. Over the past week, the daily average of new infections has reached nearly 4,600. Also, with the highly transmissible Omicron variant in the country, authorities have just imposed from today stronger antivirus measures that will remain in place for the next 4 weeks.
Yes, and for more on this and other related updates, joining us is our reporter Shin Ye-eun in the studio. Good morning, Yeun.
Good morning.
As always, Yeun, let's start with the figures for today. What are we expecting?
Right, so Mok-yeon, even though we're just coming back from the weekend when the caseload is usually lower due to fewer tests done, we've seen a pretty high figure. Up to 9 p.m. Sunday, the country reported 3,887 new COVID-19 infections. This was 119 fewer than what had been reported the same time the day before, but up by more than 1,100 from the same time last week. So we're expecting to see Monday's COVID-19 tally hover somewhere in the 4,000s. And though we don't know the exact number of critically ill patients, we're most likely to see the number stay above the 700 mark for the 6th day straight. On Sunday, 744 were in critical condition, of which 80% were over 60 years old.
Now, we are hearing from the authorities that they think they do have enough ICU beds at the moment. But were officials prepared for this sudden spike in the number of critically ill patients?
Well, nationwide, nearly 80% of all hospital beds are being used to treat COVID-19 patients that are critically ill. The Seoul and Incheon area has especially seen a shortage with more than 91% of all of their beds filled. So yes, COVID-19 has put a strain on medical capacity, prompting at-home treatment to be advised as a norm. So COVID-19 patients that haven't shown any symptoms or just mild ones have been asked to treat themselves at home for 10 days. They're basically given home treatment kits and are monitored by nearby medical facilities with oxygen levels and body temperature checked a few times a day. If these facilities find any abnormal symptoms, they will then bring these patients into the hospital.
And Yeun, over the weekend, we've seen some more infections of the highly contagious Omicron variant. Tell us more on that.
Right, and in a few hours, we'll know just how many more have been infected with the Omicron variant. But up to Sunday, we saw 3 more infected in Seoul, bringing the total number of cases to 12. The 3 were all international students studying at universities in Seoul. They had reportedly visited the church in Incheon, where the first Omicron case was detected. One came into contact with a total of 139 students in the library and 30 more at an offline class. So we'll have to wait and see whether and just how much the Omicron variant has spread outside of Incheon area.
Now, South Korea, as a result of this spike and the Omicron variant, had to pause its gradual return to living with COVID. And now we have these new stricter restrictions that came into effect from today. Just walk us through how these are going to affect everyday people here in South Korea.
Well, the biggest change is the number of people that can meet up for a social gathering. In the capital region, only 6 people will be able to meet, which is down from 10. And in other regions, only 8 can meet, which is reduced from 12. Only 1 unvaccinated person will be allowed per group in all regions, and this measure will last for 4 weeks. Also, vaccine passes will now be required in restaurants and cafes. Currently, these so-called passes have only been required for people entering venues like indoor sports facilities, bars, nightclubs, singing rooms, and public baths. But now, people who want to eat out, go to a museum, watch a movie at a theater, or even study at cram schools must provide proof of vaccination. If they're not vaccinated, they must submit a negative PCR test taken within 2 days. However, passes will still not be required for weddings, funerals, department stores, supermarkets, and outdoor sports facilities. And a 1-week grace period for this latest measure will remain from today.
All right, Yeun, thank you so much for the packed report. We'll talk to you again tomorrow morning.
Thank you so much.